Welcome back. You thought Part 1 was fast? The 2025-2026 NFL season did not slow down, and neither did the men running through it. The names that didn't make the first cut have been producing all season long, and the numbers behind their performances are unlike anything this league has tracked before. Let's start with the fastest running back recorded in the entire 2025-26 season. DeVon Achane of the Miami Dolphins was clocked at over 22 mph in open field, the highest recorded speed among all running backs this season. What separates Achane from every other speed back in the league is not just his top-end pace, it is his acceleration window. From a standstill to full sprint, Achane reaches maximum velocity in approximately 3 steps. 3. His yards per carry in games where he broke the first tackle averaged 9.4. A league-best figure that no other back matched across the entire regular season. While Part 1 covered the dominance of Jahmyr Gibbs and Saquon Barkley, Achane was creating the same damage on the opposite sideline. The corner has the angle until Achane cuts, and suddenly no angle exists anymore. Now move the conversation to the wide receiver position, specifically to the fastest man ever measured at the NFL Scouting Combine. Xavier Worthy of the Kansas City Chiefs ran a 4.21 40-yard dash at the Combine, the fastest time ever officially recorded in the event's history. Combine speed, however, does not always translate. Game speed is a different measurement entirely, tested against live coverage, traffic, and defensive coordination. Worthy answered that question in 2025. Per NFL Next Gen Stats, he averaged 21.3 mph on go routes this season, the fastest average among all wide receivers league-wide. When Patrick Mahomes releases the ball to Worthy on a vertical route, the safety assigned to cover the deep half is operating at a mathematical disadvantage. Part 1 highlighted Christian Watson's speed in Green Bay, but Worthy's numbers this season set a different standard entirely. Speed combined with size produces a third category, one that Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals occupies alone. At 6 feet 1 inch and 201 pounds, Chase is not the lightest receiver on the field. But his yards after contact per reception this season reached 6.8 yards, a number that belongs in a running back's statistical profile, not a wide receiver's. When a cornerback gets a hand on Chase at the line of scrimmage, the contact does not register as disruption. It registers as an inconvenience. Chase ran through press coverage repeatedly this season, extended plays that should have ended at the catch point, and converted short throws into 20-yard gains through pure physical force at speed. That combination, elite top-end pace, with the ability to absorb and extend through contact, is what makes him a different problem from every other fast receiver in the league. Jacksonville's investment in Brian Thomas Jr. was straightforward on paper. Draft a receiver who stretches the field vertically and creates space for everything underneath. What Thomas delivered went beyond the assignment. He recorded 3 touchdowns of 40 or more yards this season, tied for the most in the entire RFC. The detail that separates Thomas from raw speed prospects is his ability to maintain route precision at top velocity. Most receivers slow slightly before their breakpoints on corner routes and post routes. Thomas maintained cutting speed above 19 mph at the top of his routes this season, which means the defensive back tracking him cannot cheat toward the break. The corner assigned to Thomas has to run with him and still react, and this season that assignment produced 3 blown coverages that ended in the end zone. The return game in 2025-26 produced some of the most electric special teams moments in recent seasons, and 3 names drove the majority of it. Kadarius Toney, when available, was clocked at 21.8 mph on a punt return that froze the coverage unit entirely. Keon Pierce recorded back-to-back returns this season, where no gunner came within 5 yards of him at the point of contact, a reflection not just of speed, but of spatial awareness at full sprint. And Khalil Shakir of the Buffalo Bills averaged 14.1 yards per punt return, the best average in the entire RFC this season. Shakir operated as Buffalo's most consistent weapon in the return game, while remaining largely undiscussed in national conversations about the league's fastest players. Here is the data structure behind every one of those moments. NFL Next Gen Stats tracks every player on every play using RFID chips embedded in shoulder pads in football itself. recording positional data 10 times per second. The fastest speeds recorded across the 2025-26 season placed DeVon Achane at the top at 22.4 mph on an outside zone run, Xavier Worthy at 22.1 mph on a go route, Tyreek Hill at 21.9 mph on a jet sweep, Jahmyr Gibbs at 21.6 mph on a screen pass, and Brian Thomas Jr. at 21.5 mph on a post route. The average untrained human sprint sits near 12 mph. These players are running nearly double that figure, in full pads, against professional defenders under live game conditions. Kenneth Walker III of the Seattle Seahawks does not appear at the top of that speed table. His game is built on something harder to measure, the ability to pause, read, and then accelerate to full speed in a single motion. His explosive run rate in 2025, defined as carries producing 10 or more yards, reached 23% of total attempts, a top 5 figure across the entire league. The moment Walker identifies his cutback lane, his transition from patience to explosion is immediate. The linebacker is still processing the redirect when Walker is already past him. Seattle's offensive identity this season ran directly through that skill set. Then came the play that generated more online reaction than any other moment in the league this season. Fourth quarter. 3-point game. Ball at the Detroit Lions' 23-yard line. One blocker to the left. Jahmyr Gibbs takes the pitch, makes one cut to the outside, and 77 yards of open grass stretch ahead of him. The safety closes from the top of the screen. The linebacker recovers his angle. Neither of them gets there.
Gibbs crosses the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, and scores standing up.
The pursuit angle that the defense calculated was correct against a normal running back. Against Gibbs, it was irrelevant. That single play in a 3-point game in the fourth quarter ended the contest. Gibbs entered 2025 having already tied an NFL record with 20 total touchdowns the prior season, and having become the first player in league history to record at least 70 scrimmage yards in every game of the season. His 2023 NFL draft selection, round 1, pick 12, now reads as one of the most efficient investments Detroit has made in the Campbell era. Speed in the NFL does not operate in isolation. NFL Next-Gen Stats tracking infrastructure, the AI-based computer vision tools now used by teams like the Minnesota Vikings and Los Angeles Rams, and the Hawkeye camera systems installed across all 32 stadiums, these technologies now quantify what scouts have observed for decades. As Rob Brzezinski, the Vikings' interim general manager, noted regarding the league's evolving analytical tools, analytics allowed us to gather so much information. The interesting thing about AI is that it analyzes too, so it's a different level. The players in this film were not slowing down in 2025. The tracking systems measuring them were only getting sharper, and the defenders assigned to stop them were still running the same angles that stopped different players in different eras. Those angles do not work anymore.